everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, things have been a bit spruced up around here. I've just relaunched my blog, which is very exciting. So I thought I'd try and get back into kind of weekly posting with videos. I haven't done that for a really long time. So I'm trying to get back into it. Hopefully it will last. I have a few ideas written down, and first of all I wanted to start with a Q&A. I actually asked these questions on Twitter probably in about July. I didn't use a hashtag or anything because I didn't really expect anyone to ask anything, but I had quite a few responses, and then last night I asked for some more questions, used the hashtag, and I had about 3. So yeah, there's probably a lesson in that, and I don't ever assume people actually want to know anything, but I had lots of cool questions. Some were more personal, but some were more personal, some were very blogging related, so I've kind of split them into 2. So today is going to be all about blogging and a few questions I have there, and I'm going to do another video, if you want, in a few weeks. So yeah, let's get going. So I didn't actually get any names of people that asked questions, which actually makes it sound like I probably made these all up and sat down and thought, this would be a good question. But these are all genuine questions, and unfortunately I've not got names, so sorry if you ask these questions, then thank you. Anyway, the first question I have is, what was your first blog post ever? Which is quite funny because I guess you can kind of look at that in my blog archive, but rightly so, you probably won't want to go that far back because there's probably about 800 posts. But the first post I ever did was probably there was an introduction one, and I initially started my blog because it was a photography blog when I was doing my A-levels. So I kind of uploaded all these pictures I was taking, often of my friends, often in the park just down the road because I wanted them to be a bit like edgy and arty and MySpace. So I uploaded a lot of that, so they're probably my first ever posts. And then, yeah, don't go that far back. Don't go that far back. Just stick around the present time because things have changed a lot for the better. So the second question is, what are the pros and cons about blogging? The pros are definitely meeting so many amazing people. I feel like I've met lots of my best friends through blogging, which is really cheesy and cliche, but I've met so many amazing people in fashion, in journalism, in PR. I've met so many cool brands, and that's probably one of the massive pros. I get to travel because I feel like if I didn't blog or write, I probably wouldn't get to travel as much as I do, which is really surreal. It makes me feel very lucky, and it's amazing, really. Cons are probably, there's not many. I mean, not being able to switch off. I feel like I'm constantly consumed by social media and my phone and checking things, and you also kind of feel yourself comparing yourself to others quite often, which I suppose it's like anything. I think when you're a girl, you just constantly compare yourself as it is, but with everything so kind of there all the time, I think I compare myself quite a lot to other people, which it's never productive. You never compare yourself, and you never leave feeling really good about it. You're not like, yeah, I was productive, yeah, I'm really glad I did that. But that's probably one of the cons, but sometimes it's good because it kind of gives you that kick up the bum that you need. What's that? Ooh, I think my brother's finally getting up, so that'll be that. But yeah, there's so many, but definitely more pros than cons. I also got asked what my favourite kind of most memorable blogging memory was. And after thinking of this for quite a while, I think it's probably around 2011, which was my second year of blogging, and I was at university, and I found out that I'd been shortlisted in the Cosmo Blog Awards, which I know now people are sometimes a bit like sceptical about blog awards and what they mean, but at the time that was such a cool thing because I didn't even know they existed, and I was at university, I wasn't really enjoying my course, and I felt a bit miserable. It was the moment where I realised that people were reading my blog without me kind of shouting too much about it or posting on Facebook too much, because I used to do that quite a lot, and then I'd post and be like, oh my god, who am I annoying? Who doesn't want to see this on my feed? But that was probably like the main kind of, oh my god, some people read this, and I should remember feeling completely over the moon. And on Facebook at the moment, where you get memories and flashbacks, I think this was a week, like in October, that people, like, I was talking about all the time. I was always updating my status. I was like, I've been shortlisted, can't wait for the awards. So that was probably really annoying for people, but I obviously was so excited about it, so that was definitely probably my best memory. Another question I got asked was, when did you know it was the right time to go full time? This is really tricky because I don't think there was ever a time that I was like, now is the time I go full time, because it took a while. I think it's always been quite like a growing thing and quite a steady process. It was never kind of not doing it to doing it full time and earning, and I mean, I'm still kind of building up as I go, and it's still quite a reasonable momentum, but I feel like the right time was probably after I'd been doing it about 3 years. Not that you have to wait 3 years to go full time, obviously. I think blogging is so personal to everyone, but I'd been interning for 2 years, working part time, and I was dedicating more and more time to my blog, and it kind of got to the point where I was dedicating so much time to my blog that it almost consumed every day, and I was getting projects in which I wanted to put more time into. And I think I was still working retail at the time, so I didn't kind of drop everything and kind of try and keep everything afloat. That's me paddling underwater and trying to float, I don't know. What a weird thing to say. But I think it was just kind of being able to juggle that and kind of still have that consistent income was probably the right time. But I think it's different for everyone. I think there is no kind of time unless you're suddenly making millions that it is the right time. But yeah, I feel like if you can juggle doing it and earning and creating content that you're really proud of, that's probably a good time to start. I mean, you can always go back to another job, it's not the end of the world, and I think it was just having the bravery to almost take the leap. And yeah, that was not very inspirational, but yeah, that was probably the right time. Where do I get blog post inspiration was another question. Didn't really introduce that correctly, but I think in terms of inspiration for other blog posts, it is reading other blogs. I find it quite hard to keep on top of all the blogs I follow. I follow so many, and the last time I looked on Blog Lovin', I had like 800 unread posts because the last couple of weeks have been so busy. But yeah, that's probably where I do it, and then I kind of pin everything to my Pinterest, which I'll link below if you want to get some inspiration. But I try and keep on top of both of those things, try and keep updated, see what the people are posting, what the people are enjoying, and that's kind of where I get it from, really. I mean, I suppose it's so hard to come up with completely original ideas because there are so many amazing blogs, but I think having your own spin on different things is so cool and important, and that's probably where I get it from, just reading other bloggers that I love. Trying to think of some bloggers I love, but I love too many. I don't want to just say one person or another person because there are so many, but if you go on my Blog Lovin' feed, you can scour through all the blogs I read. And yeah, just reading other blogs, I think, just keeping up to date, reading, going out there, listening to music, reading a book, reading magazines. Magazines still inspire me. Just looking at other people on the street and seeing what they're wearing, street style. Yeah, there are so many things, so they are the things. Looking in my question book here, when did you and Joe learn to take such beautiful photos, and how can I improve quality? Now, I wish I did have a name for that question because it does sound like I've written that down myself. Like, how did you learn to take such great photos? Well, no, that was a genuine question. I should have taken out beautiful though, because that makes me sound like I've got a really big head. But again, I study photography at A-level, which doesn't make me an expert under any stretch of the imagination, and Joe did like accounting. So we are not experts in photography, but we have been collaborating together. We've been going out for 6 years. I've been writing my blog for 5, so in those 5 years I have roped Joe in pretty much every time I've posted to get the content, which means we've kind of both developed our photography style together and just learn what works for us, and we have a good dynamic where he's very patient and I kind of know what I want the end product to look like. So I think with those two things we often get there in the end. I don't know, it's quite hard. Again, it's like I look on Pinterest a lot and I have little boards of ideas of how I like shots to look and locations, and I kind of go from that and say, right, we're going to shoot here, this is the kind of image I want, and that's how we kind of build the kind of sets of photos we take. But there isn't really like an art to it, and sometimes they're not always great. There's more outtakes than there are good photos, so maybe there's another video on that. But yeah, that's kind of how we do it. Yeah, I guess. Another person asked me which is my favourite collaboration I've ever worked on. That's really, really hard, I think, because there are so many different brands that I've kind of aspired to work with and I've loved working with, and I feel like every collaboration is so different. So if you're travelling or you're kind of working really closely with some products that you love and creating like a really beautiful set of photos you're really proud of, that's really fun. The kind of most surreal collaboration I've ever worked on was probably with Kate Spade, which was last September, and I went to New York Fashion Week for the first time, which was kind of the most surreal moment of my life. I got the email, I phoned my mum and I was like, oh my god, what, me? And I didn't want to kind of tell anyone or get excited because I thought, knowing my luck, it will just kind of fizzle through and won't amount to anything, but it did. And I was out in New York, I went to see the presentation, I stayed in this awesome hotel, where I saw Alexa Chung outside, which was another, it just kind of felt like all these things were happening, and it was a real challenge as well, because I was on my own, and I think it was like the first time I ever vlogged as well, so I tried to do a vlog and do all this content, and I was just like, oh, can I even do this? But it was so much fun, and it kind of really pushed me to kind of be like, right, I want to carry on doing this, because I was just like, this is so surreal. But I felt so lucky and just, yeah, weirded out that I was like, that's me, I'm doing this. But it was really, really fun. Probably, yeah, the most fun thing. It was just amazing. Oh, it was just amazing. Last question, I won't go on for too long, but if you have got any other vlogging, no, I'm not a vlogging expert, but questions, let me know and I can do them. But the last question is, if you never got into vlogging, what do you think you would be doing now? It's a good question really, because I've never really thought about it. I kind of, when I was doing my A-levels, I kind of wanted to do art or fashion journalism or writing, but there wasn't really one area that I was ever particularly kind of drawn to going into. I mean, except when I was about 8, when I wanted to be like an ice skater or a vet, or, you know, those two jobs that are really like very similar. But there's never really been I wanted to be a fashion designer at one point, but I think as soon as I realised I didn't really have any skill in that area, I kind of dropped that. But I feel like fashion journalism is something I probably would have wanted to go into, or photography. But again, I feel like blogging kind of gives me the space to do everything I like in a way, like dabble in things and learn to get better in different areas. Like if ever someone's like, oh, how do I improve my writing, I might just blog. Like when I was about 14, I did some work experience at Enemy magazine, and at the time someone said to me, they were like, start a blog, just write, like it will help you so much. And I remember thinking, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to just write? That's boring, it sounds like a school project. And obviously I didn't do it at the time, but a couple of years later I started my blog, and since then and now I've developed my writing style. I've developed like a tone of voice that I can relate to. So I've completely gone off track of the question. Wow, I've literally, like, the question was, what would you be doing? Probably fashion journalism or writing, hopefully. But yeah, that is the answer. I'm sorry about that, the like long-winded route we got there, but hopefully there's some other information in there that you can take away from this video. So that is it really. I tried to keep this relatively short and sweet. I didn't want to kind of bombard anyone with too many questions, especially, you know, as the questions were asked so many months ago. I didn't want to kind of be like, yeah, so these are all the questions people want to know. But hopefully there's some interesting nuggets of information there. If you do want to see anything else or any more questions, videos like this, other videos, let me know, comment below. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully there'll be another video next Sunday. So if you're lucky and keep your fingers crossed, that might happen. But until then, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!